Will you lose your account for doing this on eBay, or is it actually allowed? Let's go find out. I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, ProEcommercelister, your one-stop shop for listing services. Simply take photos of your inventory, upload them into our system in our mobile app or website, and we do the rest. Titles, descriptions, conditions, item specifics, return times, handling times, and shipping policies. You simply price your item and make them live on the platform. Contact ProEcommercelister below at www.proecommercelister.com or email us at proecommercelister@gmail.com for full instructions and pricing. And thank ProEcommercelister for being a sponsor of the Rockstarflipper YouTube channel. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. I want to talk about eBay canceled transactions and defects today, specifically one topic that came up that's a touchy subject, and this was posted today by an Instagram user named Julie. She goes by Casa Chic on there, I think is how you pronounce it. I will link it below. She makes great content. She makes an awesome Instagram channel. I believe she has a YouTube also. If I'm not subbed to it, I'll have to go sub to it, but her Instagram, awesome. Down below, she puts out tons of content for new sellers, advanced sellers, expert sellers. She does it all, right? She has some great content, and we agree on like 95% of everything that she puts out. There's some things we don't agree on. That's okay. We don't have to. But she's a great person from what I can see on there, and she put out a post today about something that some content creators and YouTube sellers were telling people, and I was one of those people that was educating sellers on this topic. And so let me start with the backstory on eBay transactions. When you have to cancel an order, you have four possibilities. One is that the buyer didn't pay. If they never pay for it, like you accepted a best offer, 4 days, cancel transaction, buyer never paid, you don't get a defect. If there's a problem with their address, a bad apartment, misspelling of the name, maybe they don't live there anymore and they need to cancel it. There's a ton of reasons the address can be bad, and you can cancel that with no defect, no harm to your account. That's fine. Those two things are fine. The third one is out of stock / damage. So you lost an item. You had 10 of them, but you accidentally sold 11 of them. You had too much quantity. Maybe you dropped an item coming out of your garage and busted it, and now you can't ship it. If you have to cancel for that reason, you are going to get a defect. And defects are based on a percentage of your total account transactions. So for example, if you sold 100 items, transactions, and you had 2 canceled orders for broken, damaged, lost out of stock, whatever, you would have a 2% defect rate. Now I'm gonna put a screenshot up showing you the defect screen, where to find it. If you don't know where to find it, you need to familiarize yourself with that screen immediately because it's super important. But that screen will show you your percentage. And if you go to that screen, which actually I'm gonna click on it while I'm sitting here recording with you guys and talking to you, I believe the maximum, depending on how much you do for the transaction defect rate, top rated plus is less than 0.5%. Above standard is 2% or less. You have to be under 2%. If you have 2% or higher, that means 2 out of 100 would be 2%. You would be below standard, which is really bad. You can lose your account. You can get suspended. You can also get really bad search rankings because you're doing a bad job, so they're going to push you down, and then it's almost impossible, because to bury yourself out of the hole, dig yourself out of that hole, you have to get more sales to build your transactions up so the percentage drops, but you can't get sales because they're pushing you down. Catch 22, you see how it works. So you don't want to cancel transactions if at all possible, which means you got to do a good job of keeping track of your inventory, not breaking stuff, not losing stuff. That is a given. Do a good job and do not cancel orders. eBay almost sets people up for failure doing that, though, because a lot of people that are new don't know that, and then they're just like, oh, I lost an item, just cancel order, cancel order. I had a lady about a year ago who was selling about 5 items a day, 150 in a month, 450 in 90 days. She had like 40 canceled orders because she's like, oh, I didn't know it was a big deal. I didn't realize. Oh my God, that was a 8.8%. She lost her account. I know she lost her account. Anyways, the fourth reason is buyer asked to cancel order. So what was happening, and what Julie put up on her Instagram today, is that people would lose an item knowing that it was going to cost them a defect that they didn't want to get. So what they would do is proactively refund the buyer, cancel the order, choose buyer asked, and then before they submitted that cancel order, they would message the buyer and say, hey, I'm really, really sorry. It looks like we oversold this pair of jeans. Is it okay if I cancel the order and I'll issue you a refund right away? Buyer responds, yeah, that sucks. Go ahead, cancel the order. Seller goes and cancels the order, issues a refund, chooses buyer asked, and therefore they avoid the negative defect. Now that sounds a little bit gray area, right? Maybe even shady in some people's minds. But here's the thing. I actually reached out to eBay 2 years ago, Boss Reseller Remix 2021. So 2 years ago, maybe over 2 years ago, and asked, is this an acceptable way to handle it? If I reach out to my buyer and I say, look, there was a mistake, there was this issue, can I cancel the order? And I get their approval and I issue them the refund, can I do it? And eBay said, yes, that's fine. Obviously, if you're just going and doing it and not talking to your buyer, like you're being shady. Don't do that, right? You're just trying to protect yourself. But I'm trying to give the buyer a good experience because sometimes I could even offer the buyer and say, hey, there was an issue with such and such item, but I have other items. I'm happy to offer you another one. I'm happy to do this. I get it. The buyer's not going to be completely satisfied. Sometimes they're going to turn that down. And if they ever did turn it down, you'd never select buyer ask because they're just going to say it wasn't me. But eBay confirmed that was okay. So I told other people, hey, look, you don't want to get a defect. Here's how you can handle the transaction properly. Of course, handling the transaction properly would be not having the mistake to begin with. But here's the kicker. I was having issues where items were getting relisted. I never cancel orders. We don't lose inventory. It just doesn't happen here. My system is really good. And I'm not trying to brag. I'm just telling you my system is good. And we don't lose items. We constantly recheck our inventory every couple of months. And I was selling items that I haven't had in 6 months or a year. eBay's system is known for relisting items that you've already sold. You could have sold it 6 months ago and somehow it just pops up. Like you had one of one. I had one, John F. Kennedy sunglasses ever in my whole life. And now somehow they're listed again. I sold them a year ago. What? eBay system glitching. So I would go out to the buyer and say, hey, eBay's system made a big glitch. I haven't had these sunglasses in a year. They listed them. I'm going to go ahead and cancel the order. Is that cool? And I can't fulfill this order. I don't have these glasses. There's nothing I can do. And they would say, yeah, fine, whatever. And I would cancel and choose buyer asked. And I would even forward it along to eBay. I put in several of these messages because it happened 4 or 5 times over a year that their system was glitching. And here's the screenshot from the buyer. And here's the screenshot from the transaction. And here's the screenshot where I sold them a year ago. And here's my cancel order. And eBay was like, you handled it perfectly fine. And so Julie put up a post today that said not to do that. And the reason not to do that is eBay said they will suspend you. I believe she said a 3-day suspension for the first one. If you do that because you are lying to the system, essentially, you're lying across the transaction. The buyer did not ask to cancel it. You asked them if it was okay to cancel and they simply agreed with it, which technically is correct, right? They didn't come to you asking to cancel it. But if I give them the information that I'm out of stock, if I say, hey, I saw you bought these jeans. I don't have any more left. What would you like to do? The buyer responds, please cancel the order. Now they've asked, right? So it's kind of a catch-22. But here's my thoughts on it, and that's all I'm going to say on it. eBay confirmed for me that you're allowed to do that. eBay told Julie and other folks, I think Colorado Rewarn was in there, a few other folks were in there, different, telling them that they would be suspended. If at all there's ever a chance that your account can be suspended based on an action, whether eBay said it was okay or not, one rep said it's okay, one rep said it's not. If there's ever a chance that that one rep or that one system could suspend you, I will recommend that you do not take that course of action. I would recommend that you cancel the order going forward. Cancel the order for broken or lost or out of stock. Then contact eBay because according to the feedback policy removal and the defect policy removal, if a bad defect or a bad feedback is caused by eBay's system or a glitch, they will remove the defect. Now it sucks because once the defect hits your account, you're going to start getting hammered on the search results, but they're supposed to take it away right away or within 24 hours or 48 hours, whatever it is. That is a better risk of getting a bad defect for a day or two than a risk of being suspended for 3 days, which you may or may not be able to appeal, and you may or may not win, and I will take the defect for a couple of days, which one defect isn't going to ruin your account, mind you. It may hurt a little bit, but it's not going to ruin your account. I'll take that defect over the suspension. So I will side with Julie on this, that the risk is not worth it, the reward is not worth it. Going forward, my advice to all of you, do not ask, if you lose an account, do not ask the buyer to cancel. Simply cancel the order based on the glitch and any defect or feedback they leave. If it was actually a glitch, will be removed. It should be removed by eBay. If you legitimately lost the item or you damaged it or it's your fault, the proper thing to do is probably take your defect at this point going forward, because your defect on your account, don't let it happen again. One is okay. And if you do a large amount of volume, you could have a couple. I'm not recommending having a couple. Don't lose your inventory. Or if you're overselling it because of cross-posting, make sure you do a better job of monitoring your cross-posted websites, or cancel on those sites and not eBay, because a lot of those sites are more forgiving. But that's my recommendation. That's my advice. So thank you, Julie, Casa Chic on Instagram, for posting this. And if anybody has anything they want to chime in, please do in the comment section below. Otherwise, I'll leave you guys to it. Please ask questions and email me, rockstarflipper@gmail.com. Any questions you have about reselling or business in general, and especially about my listing service, ProEcommerce Lister, where you upload your photos and we make your listings for you. It's that simple. Take your photos, send them to us. We'll make your listings for you on eBay, Posh, Etsy, Shopify, and inside your list perfectly if you want. Hit me up for more information, rockstarflipper@gmail.com. Have a wonderful day, everybody.